Hey everyone, welcome to Mobility. Just a foam roller today, that's all we're going to do, and we're going to work on mostly our lower body, loosening up our hips. So let's get ready and go. Just grab your foam roller and put some work into your quads. So my legs are parallel. I'm just going from the top of my leg all the way to my knees. I should have told you, turn on your favorite tunes. Try to get a little relaxed, and don't go too fast. Try to go an inch per second. And if you feel like you need to spend a lot more time on these, you certainly can. Try to relax your toes, flex your ankles a little as you're moving, just to get some movement through the body. Today's mobility is going to be a little bit different. If you've been doing mobility with me, I'm super excited to try out some new movements on you and to make this kind of flow and be a little more moving. All right, I'm just going to scoot onto my left side, get the outside of my quad, and just roll in on that. If you want, you can lay the top leg and get a little bit of the inside at the same time. Right, that one out. Hopefully you're starting to get a collection of these videos on YouTube and just working through them. I recommend mobility at least twice a week. I think 3 or 4 times is good. I'm going to switch sides, work on the outside of my right leg and just the inside of my left leg, but most of the pressure there is going on my right leg. And I didn't do a warm-up today. I don't know if you noticed or you're following the mobility. Usually I do a warm-up, but a lot of today is functional movement that we'll be able to just do and warm up along the way. So sometimes I like to warm us up before we get into some heavy stretching and massage, but I think today you will feel stretched and massaged along the way. So I'm going to tell you to put your foam roller over here, get it out of the way, and actually let's just push ourselves into a little bit of a down dog. That'll be our warm-up. You can walk it out, of course. Make sure it's, a lot of times I like to reset it. Let's get in there. Try to get my hips higher. Try to engage my shoulders. Channel your inner Lisa. Lisa does our yoga classes, and she cues you through the down dog really well. It makes us nice and strong, and it's a good one to help us warm up the body. So we're going to come down here gently, and I'm going to ask you to lay flat on your back. Right, so I'm flat on my back. My arms are T. Got my right leg closest to the camera. So I'm gonna put my right leg straight, take my left leg, cross it over, and then I'm gonna take this hand that's in front and just hold my knee up. And then my back hand, I'm gonna reach across to the front, walk it as far as I can, and then stretch back like an open book. Look right up at the ceiling, and then come across my body. My arms going straight across my chest, and then coming back. Again, open book. And my bottom leg is straight. Trying to hold my gut in. I don't want to just relax and let everything all hang out here. Just trying to stretch out our lower backs and enjoy the movement. We'll do a couple more of these here, and then I'll switch sides. All right, so I'll spin around this way so you can see, but basically, you're gonna lay back down flat, and this time my right leg comes across, my bottom left arm is holding it, this arm's back here on the floor, I come across in front of me, reach out as far as I can for that stretch, put my head on the ground, and then reach up over behind me, and usually this loosens up my lower back. I feel this in my glutes today. So, and my shoulders really needed this push. So hopefully you're enjoying this as much as I do. Take your time, go at your own pace. And just remember, mobility is the gift you are giving to yourselves, so that you're nice and healthy as an athlete, and you can continue to get stronger and improve your movements, and so that all your daily fitness is functional. So we're going to do one more here. If you want to lay into it, make a tea and relax, take a deep breath, and then slowly unwind out of this. And then when you're ready, sit up and do this. Let me see if I can angle this down just a little without messing up the whole camera angle. So I've been working on some functional movements, and I'd like to share them with you. And then hopefully, as I get better at them, you can actually add some movements to this. So if your legs are out in front of you, if you start with your feet out in front of you, we've done this one in the gym. This leg comes back, it's like 90 degrees. Here, my foot's right here on my thigh, 90 degrees. And we can do this overhead. Your arms can be here, or if you need your hands on the ground for stability, you can put your hands on the ground, right? We're just going to switch sides, right? And loosen up our hips. Now, ideally, here is a nice place to be. We're just flipping our hips. You can absolutely put your hands on the ground if you need it, but what I would ask you to do is try to keep your chest upright. Try to keep your core engaged, right? So when we're doing this, our core is engaged. We're not thinking we're upright. And if you're putting your hands on the ground to support yourself, know that eventually you want to transition out of this to your hands off the ground. So at the end of the movement, give yourself a push up, kind of hold on to it. Even you can go from here to here. And then if you've got to go back, you know what I mean, to support yourself in the movement, you can. But at the end, just try to give yourself a second here, all right? So we're just going to do a couple more of these, working on warming up our hips so that our hips are super warm and ready to do some work. So I don't know about you guys, the older I get, the less hip mobility I have. It's funny, these, you do end up walking across the floor. So when I'm really diligent, I really try to work on these hip movements. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna adjust this one. So if I'm here, right, I finished my movement here, then I want you to pick yourself up, squeeze your butt cheeks, push your hips forward, count 1, 1,000, sit back down, flip your legs, give yourself a push up, squeeze your glutes, sit back down, and flip. Now, as you can see, the last 2 times I have needed to use my hands as stability to pick myself up. Remember I said I was working through some things? So I'm hoping if I do this a few times a week, maybe in a week or 2, I won't have to give myself that push, right? So that's why I really want to squeeze my glutes, hold in my tummy when I get to the top here, make sure I feel this engagement and stretch in my hips, flip down so that, look, there, this time I was able to sit up on my own without using my hands. Sometimes we just need to get warm in order to do that. And sometimes one side's stronger than the other, right? So this side's not so bad for me, right? My right leg in front. But when I switch to lefty, I need a little bit of that hand push. So I'm up at the top and I'm just trying to get a little stretch and feel my hips loosening up. Maybe you feel them cracking too, like me, but that's it. So maybe by now you're all the way across your gym floor and you've had to come back, but let's just do one more on each side. I really, really love how good this feels. I hope you feel the same way. And look, that wasn't pretty, but it'll get prettier as I do it. I'm sure, right? Consistency is key. All right, so we did a little side to side action. Now we're gonna do a little forward action. So what I want you guys to do is get yourself down into a child pose. You have this reach, and then I want you to come up and left leg comes forward into a lunge. And I'm gonna hold it here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Really breathe into it, and then come on back into my child pose, and then come on up again. Now, is this a super complex movement? No, I remember when I used to be flexible in movements like this. Let's go back to one. But for whatever reason, recently, I have a hard time doing this transition. Even when we do the perfect stretch and the perfect flow, right? So I'm hoping that doing this movement will help me get better at it. And in a week or two, I can show you a little more complex movement. It's like we're working together to take this to the next step, to the next phase. All right. So we're just holding here. Now, if you feel like, you know what, Sharon, this isn't challenging enough, pick that back knee up off the floor and hold that leg tight, the back leg tight for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you feel like you're getting a better stretch with your knee down, which a lot of times I do in that hip, stay there. And let's come on back into child's pose and then flip left leg in front. I'll give myself a really good stretch here. My knees on the ground. I'm pushing forward as much as I can. And then now, if I want to challenge myself a little more, I'll pick that leg up off the ground, squeeze it as tight as I can, and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Putting that knee back down. Coming on back. Now I'm just going to add this hamstring stretch for a few seconds and then putting my leg back and getting myself into child's pose. Deep breath. Right leg comes forward into my lunge. We'll make it a really deep lunge here. You notice my knees on the side of my shoulders. Take a deep breath. Pick up that back knee. Suck in your gut while you're sucking in your leg and your butt and everything. Put that knee back down. Stretch it back. Give that right hamstring just a little bit of love, and then pull yourself out of it and come back down into your child's pose and do it again. Left foot comes forward, both hands are up, my shoulders and my knee are right next to each other. Taking a deep breath, enjoying the stretch here, and then I'm gonna pick up that back knee. My leg is straight, it's engaged. I'm pulling my gut to my butt. putting my knee back down, surrounding my front foot or my front leg here, pushing back for the hamstring stretch, lower back stretch, and then taking myself out of it for a child's pose. And I don't know if you think this is lovely, but I do, so I'm gonna do it one more time on each side, all right? So everybody with me, deep breath, exhale it, pick up that back leg, squeeze your belly in, like your belly button should pull to your back. My butt's squeezed, my leg is engaged all the way down my leg, and then I put my leg down, surround the front, and stretch back this hamstring. Make sure you breathe in each stretch, especially if it's challenging. Come on back to our child's pose. Left leg comes forward. This is the last one here. Make it a good one. Picking up that back leg. And then coming on back. So this is a nice movement. Like, yeah, it's mobility and we can get a little foam rolling, but this is a good way to get a little more activity into your day. You could do this in your office, right? You could do this when you get up in the morning. Just a nice little series to kind of stretch out your legs and your body and get yourself moving. So we're gonna work on this lunge. Let me make sure. Here, yeah. So we're gonna work on this lunge just a little bit differently now. So like I said, I like to work on our hips and our quads. All right, so kneeling position, I'm gonna come into a forward lunge. So I've got myself more upright, my chest is up. I'm gonna push forward, keep my knee on the ground, right? And I'll show you well, here, let me show you this way and then I'll go that way. Then I'm gonna come back up and I'm gonna come to the side and do a little side lunge, semi-Cossack squat here, and then come back to the front, all right, and back to the side. All right, so we're gonna do 10 of those on each side. Now I'll just show you from sideways because you got a couple options here, right? You can put your foot flat on the ground, or if it feels better, I get a little more of a hip stretch, but then I feel it in my back. You gotta have a nice engaged core. Don't let your belly hang out, right? So still going forward and then going sideways and then going forward and going sideways. Now, if you feel like these are fast, slow down. Feel the stretch. We do a lot of squats. Our legs do a lot of work. They carry us a lot of places. Enjoy the stretch and enjoy the movement, right? I'm gonna have you do one more of each of those and then we'll switch to the other side, right? So my right foot's in front. I'm gonna lean into this lunge here. My chest is up. Come on back and then come to the side, right? Like I said, you can hang out here. Look, I'm not super into bouncing, but it does feel good to just give myself a couple of movements. Sometimes we're not used to this tightness here, right? How often do we do side lunges? So it's okay to we're probably warm from the front, right? Go into this once and hold and then go to the side. But the first couple times, if you need to push in and then come out of it and push in before you hold it, that's okay. And maybe think it feels better to hold it. So maybe hold it for 2 seconds. And then come out. Keep your core engaged. Go here and here. I'm doing this next to the wood stove, so it's nice and hot. but hopefully you're getting some enjoyment out of this. All right, let's do one more each side. And then I think it's okay to give your legs a little more time on this foam roller. Right now that they're all warm and stretched out, it's easier to get through the crunch. And find the lumpy parts. If you find one and get stuck on one, it's okay to do side to side motion, or, you know, my favorite, to do a little concentration. I got my couch behind me. Take this foot, put this foot up on the back of the couch, and then concentrate on just one leg on this foam roller. And giving that leg a little bit of release, and you know, if my foot's up here on the couch, I can just focus on that one leg and that maybe one spot. And then if you get, I don't know if you can see here, but if I get on a spot that is really cringy, right, I can just do a little windshield wiper, right? Let me show you that from, maybe you'll be able to see that from this side. So if this leg, I take it and I put it up on the couch, right? And then I'm just foam rolling back and forth. But if I find a spot, right, pick it up and then work the side to side. It's beautiful. It's like putting a 35-pound plate on your leg and doing a barbell smash. It's absolutely delightful. And if you need to get that inner thigh, you just get a little more acquainted with the floor here and your foam roller. And now, when you do two legs, right, and you don't have a wall or a couch behind you to put your foot up, you definitely put more weight into the muscle and get a deeper massage. However, sometimes I feel like my leg just wants a little bit of the weight taken off, and then I can just isolate muscles and parts of the muscle more because they're supported, right, at the very top of my quad and then the bottoms. And then that's it. But now I said you only need a foam roller, and I was going to end it, but I am sitting right here with my couch, right? So I feel like a couch stretch is a good move. So I'll show you this from the side, and then I'll probably get into it from the front. So I got my knee, I got my foot back here. I'm looking straight up and down. My chest is up. My knee is forward here. My toe is forward. And then I'm making sure I am tilting my pelvis like this way, right? Tilt my pelvis, suck in my gut, squeeze my butt, and hold. Now, if you can't get yourself upright, start here and then push yourself up, but if you can, just look up in the air, and then we're going to squeeze this butt cheek for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Giving ourselves a little break, and then holding it again. Hold the butt cheek, squeezing the butt cheek. Maybe we're singing our favorite song, and then release. All right, and then if you're like me and you're dying and you have foot cramp, you may just want to come out of it for a second. Holy cow. But you can just keep that going. Again, I'm at 90 and 90, looking up and then squeezing that butt cheek. And then I like to work on this stretch. I'm not very good at getting into it. Sometimes I need a band or something, but I noticed on my couch I can reach behind and start to get a little more of a stretch here and hold myself upright. So if you want to try that, go for it. All right. Just a couple more seconds here. Squeeze the butt cheek to feel the release in the front of the leg. And then come on down. Lay on the ground. Stick your feet up in the air and give yourself a windshield wiper. Kick out your legs. I recommend a softer pillow. I don't know what I'm doing with this pillow here. And then switch legs, switch sides. All right, so I'll show you this from the front now. All right, I got my right leg down, my left leg up, looking straight ahead, looking up. And then I'm gonna squeeze my right butt cheek for 10, 9, 8, 7. Try not to lose your balance. If you do, it's because you're not holding your gut in. And then release. Now, if you can hold this without a problem, try holding for a full 30 seconds and then release, or 60 seconds and then release. Let's squeeze again. Try to keep your chest up. If your chest is down, let's release. Release those butt cheeks and then squeeze again. If your chest is down, you're working every time we squeeze and getting a little bit higher. If your chest is up, you can reach behind you. Try to grab that foot. Still holding our head up. Squeezing the butt cheeks. And release. And then we're just going to do one more squeeze today because we did a lot of lunging and hip work. All right, then coming out of that, releasing that, coming right down on our bellies and getting our little windshield wiper action going. Kicking that out. Taking a deep breath. And, and then that's mobility for the week. A little hip work, a little leg work. I hope you give it to yourself at least once this week, but try for twice, and have a great week.